Hello and welcome to Lucy's October video message. A top opportunity to think together during the ongoing COVID crisis and how we seek to coexist with the virus safely and wisely without losing hope. I want to begin by talking a bit about decision making. I wonder what decisions you're facing at the moment. For me, earlier this year, I began to look for a new job, for my 3-year contract at Scargill House in the Yorkshire Dales was coming to an end. I had many decisions to make on my journey of discernment. Each was like a question. Which posts will I choose to apply for? What kind of role do I feel God is calling me to? Where is God wanting to send me? Am I open to serve anywhere, or would I like to limit the choice by geographical location? Well, the story unfolded and I began ministry here in the fivefold group of parishes in September, and I began with a fresh set of questions and choices as I stepped out into a new chapter of life. At the same time, my 7-year-old niece, Millie, was also facing a fresh challenge. She was moving from infant schools to juniors. Now you might say that school is school and church is church, but the internal workings of one school can be very different from the systems and customs in another. And in my mind, I think the same applies to churches. They can be very different. And that variety is something of beauty and a gift. And since arriving in Fivefold, I've faced many decisions daily about how to use my time wisely and safely. How can I best communicate with people and get to know them whilst we continue to contend with COVID-19? Your experience may carry similar questions. And I thought I'd share with you just a few of the choices that have helped me use my time wisely and safely over these last 6 months and navigate lockdown and limitation and all the twists and turns along the way. Firstly, I choose to take exercise regularly, especially when the weather is good. It's a bit more of an attractive option then. Be that walking along the lanes and streets, running along the footpaths, or even getting my bike out from time to time, but perhaps not as much as my colleagues Simon and Jenny. I've also returned to New Testament Greek. Now, I'm a lover of languages. That's what I was good at school. And I learnt New Testament Greek when I was at Ridley Hall back in the early 2000s at Theological College in Cambridge. And it's been great, really stimulating and energising to pick up, after a 15-year break, something that I really loved, my love of languages. And it even helps me try to understand the scriptures as well, which is a bonus. And thirdly, I choose to read good news stories day by day, to notice and celebrate stories of hope and joy, where one person's effort, however small or practical, has made such a difference to supporting one another person. And there are plenty of such stories online and in the papers, local examples, national stories, and from across the world. Now, many years ago, I received a postcard from a friend. The picture on the front was that of a giraffe with its tall neck, with its head above a dark cloud, a dark rain cloud, but its eyes were looking upwards to the blue sky and rays of sunlight. It reminds me of that well-known Monty Python song, Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. And I've chosen to pin this postcard on the back of my bedroom door. Why have I chosen to do that? Well, it helps to encourage myself daily to cultivate an optimistic spirit that looks beyond any present dark reality to brighter things ahead and beyond the immediate storm. This image of the giraffe with its head above the clouds is another resource that has carried me through this current chapter of life that is coronavirus. Even though challenges continue at this time, I will choose daily to lift my head above the clouds, just like that giraffe. Earlier in lockdown, I was looking at a little book called On Making Choices. As I was looking for a new job, it was an attractive title. It's a little book of wisdom written by Margaret Self. And she has lots of practical ideas to help us with decision making. She suggests that life is like a game of snakes and ladders. It's a game that I play with my niece Millie when I visit her in the school holidays. Life is like a game of snakes and ladders, says Margaret Self, as we seek to navigate our way through the challenges and opportunities of life. She explains that some choices just simply seem to drop us at the bottom of a ladder. Things look rosy. Chance throws us a good opportunity. The only way is up and we just need to climb. But in other situations, the head of a snake hisses in our face. And if we're not careful, we may slide downwards where we never wanted to go. Sometimes we will find ourselves on a square at the foot of a ladder and the head of a snake. Ladders invite us up to go beyond the present towards the best, like that giraffe with its head pointing to the sunshine. To go upwards may not be the easiest option, and it may involve a climb into the unknown. Yet if we embrace the adventure, it will form and grow us. In contrast, that snake symbolises seductive pathways leading us away from the best. Once you set foot on the snake, you can slip down the slope unwittingly and at pace. To avoid sliding, we must deliberately act against distractions and downward drag. Looking back on this year, looking back on 2020 may have felt like a game of snakes and ladders with more than its fair share of ups and downs. Or perhaps it feels like a roller coaster if you prefer that metaphor. In the weeks and months ahead, I pray that we may be guided by the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God, to make good choices, to spot the ladders ahead of us and ascend them. Thanks for listening.